Good afternoon. If you're in the East Coast, welcome to today's broadcast of the Dubuque High School Saints versus the Des Moines Oakleafs varsity game. Saints suffered the loss yesterday in a 7-3 game versus the Oakleafs. They'll look to bounce back today. Looks like referee Dave London will be wearing the stripes again today. He drew the ire of a number of the Dubuque players, coaches, and parents yesterday. But then again, it's hard to find a ref that those parents, players, and coaches like. So the Oakleys are coached by head coach Scott Long. Saints are coached by Tim King. Still good seats available down at Dubuque Community Ice Arena, so if you're at home, come on down. Tell them you know Mike Netterly, they'll let you in for free. Bryce Besson gets the start today. Bryce was born in Wisconsin, but we let him on the team anyway. Kevin O'Donnell, defensive partner. He's a senior at Dubuque Senior. Big Bo Baker leads the forwards out. Baker's a football star as well. Bellevue's own Benny Meyer takes the ice. He is by far the best high school hockey player from Bellevue on the team. Jacob Noonan from Wallard High School. And between the pipes, we've got Jack Leverton from the hockey capital of the world, Warren High School. National anthem always sounds better in the dark, apparently. Ah, the lights work. Dave Blotter doing his best John Ross. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? He's waiting for Leverton to look at him. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? Let's go. Wait, no one's here. Noonan will step in and take the face off for Dubuque. And we're off. Oakleafs force it into the zone. Comes back to the neutral zone. They'll go D to D. Up at the far side, you'll get a tip to avoid the icing call. Goes back behind the net. Forced in front of the net. Schilling will collect it there. Play it off the far boards. Squirts by the Des Moines defender. Noonan will give chase. D to D, played up to the near boards. Kick to the center. Braden Schilling knocks the puck loose and it's into the corner. Back to the D. Fired on net, blocked by Benny Meyer. Puck will come around the back of the net. Schilling with the steal there. He'll play it off the boards. Held in by the Oakleafs. Cross the ice. Comes out of the zone. They manage to control. Fired on net. Right into Schilling. Little stinger on the hand there. Sagers up to Stilling. Schilling off the sideboards. He'll get the clear, but it'll go the distance for the ice. Puck down. Des Moines wins it back. Leverton tips it wide. Goes to the corner. Back to the Des Moines D. Shot wide. Held in. No. Lost. White to press it down. Sweeney gets it to the middle. Can't get a shot off. He's controlling it there. Shot on net. Saved by the Leafs goaltender. Played to the side. Leafs try and work it up the far side. It's chipped out to near boards. Sukachov comes in, tries to chip it in. Can't hold it in. White will play it across the ice. Over to O'Donnell. Lost there. Back to neutral zone. Sukachov plays it deep. And we'll get a nice there too. Back to the point. They'll get a shot. Not through. Played down the ice by Sieverding. Sieverding takes a wide shot on net. Goes in front. Pushed off. Back to the D. Schilling will push it down deep below the goal line. Around the back of the net. Des Moines will play it D to D. Out to center ice. Schilling will play it down deep behind the net. Des Moines kicks it out. Held in. Kirkenbush will force it behind the net. The Leafs will go collect it. Played on the near boards by Ross. Back to Schilling. Schilling fires it in. Leafs will try and get the long breakout pass unsuccessfully. They scored a number of their goals yesterday on that stretch pass, like that one. Missed wide today, though. Still early on. All left alone in front of the net. Chipped up to the back of the net. No goal. Stolen there by Schilling. He'll bring it down the near boards. He's got Tyler White with him. Schilling shot on net. Over the net. No effect, and we'll go wide on the far side. Hamildowner recovers. Tries to play it up. Loses the handle on the puck. It's battled there. Plays it up to Sweeney. Sweeney ahead to O'Donnell. Sammy Ruiz will be ridden hard into the boards and lose the puck behind the net. The Oaks will try and break it out in front of the Zam doors. White battles for it there. Sweeney comes by, picks it up. Played to the corner. Up to O'Donnell. O'Donnell forces it back deep below the goal line. The Oaks will recollect. Sammy Ruiz behind the net tries to get it out front. It's battled back. Fought for in the corner by, I believe that's Tyler White. I believe that's Nico Sukichov. Sukichov tries to feather it out in front of the net. No one's home. Out to O'Donnell, who smashes it into the defender. The Oaks will chase it down, try and beat out the icing call. Unsuccessfully. $12:49 left in the first period. Still scoreless. Saints have 2 shots on goal. Oaks just a single shot. They have missed the net 2 or 3 times on wide open opportunities. Faceoff is down. Puck out of play. Back, that's Schilling. Schilling will try and play it down to Baker. Baker's got it in front of the Zam doors, and we've got a hand pass. It works in football, not in hockey. Hand pass will bring the puck back outside the offensive zone. Jacob Noonan will go down for the faceoff. Battled and forced into the Oaks zone. They'll control, go D to D, up the near side, stolen there by Blaze Seeger. He'll play it out, they'll knock it back in. Schilling carries it up to Meyer. Meyer sends it to Noonan, who can't collect it, but he'll chase deep. Played off the far boards. Benny Meyer and Blaze Seeger give race and collect it. Play it out to the neutral zone. The Oaks have collected, and they're coming back in. Apparently offsides, delayed offsides. They clear the zone. Schilling plays it directly under the stick of the Oakleaf, who can't handle it. Bo Baker now forces it deep. Weak shot on net. Played to the outside. The Oaks carry it down. Dump it in. Played behind the net by O'Donnell, where it's stolen. The Oaks try and force the play there. Covered up by Leverton for the stop. Late change sends Beshin and Cruiser out for Sukichov and O'Donnell for the defensive zone faceoff. Ross will take it. Ross loses the draw. Oaks get it back to their D. D will dump it down deep below the goal line. They'll pressure there. Ross plays it up to Sieverding. Sieverding off to Kirkenbush. Kirkenbush loses the handle there, but Sieverding comes in and helps him. Into the corner. They'll try and get it back to the D. Unsuccessfully, the Oaks control. They'll press the play. Control and center are neutral ice. Tried to play it down deep over the stick of Cruiser. He'll go back behind the goal line to collect. Plays it up to Ross, who's met with some force there. Cruiser circles. Plays it up to Sieverding, who kicks it over to Ross. Duke is happy about the breakout. Says a lot. The Oaks managed to clear the zone to center ice. Schilling over to Beshin. Beshin circles. Back to Schilling. Schilling up to White. He'll chip it in. Duke's apparently content to play the dump and chase game today. Slow trickle to the Oaks goalie. He'll cover for the stop. So the Oaks were very successful yesterday with their stretch pass. They were hitting players in stride at center ice or further down. Scored on a number of breakaway opportunities or 2-on-1 opportunities. Dubuque will look to minimize those opportunities today. Control the puck, get it out. Puck played back behind the net. Sweeney pulls it off the boards. The Oaks will control, force it down to center ice. Sammy Ruiz will chip it down. No icing called. Oaks will control behind the net. They'll look for that long breakout pass up the middle. And they've got it. Save by Leverton. Huge save by Leverton. Schilling collects. He'll throw it down. The Oaks will collect, dump it back in behind the net. Sagers will go back, force it on. Shot on net, save by Leverton. We got Tyler White. He's got Cody Sweeney coming with him. They're going to go 2-on-1. Sweeney over to White, back to Sweeney. Shot by White just wide of the net. Oaks play it up the near boards. Controlled in the corner by Ruiz. Ruiz is going to play the stretch game down to Meyer. Meyer walks in front of the net and is hammered and then slashed by the Oaks player. The hammering was legal. The slash was not. Sukachov makes the play, tries to get a shot on net. Doesn't go through. The Oaks will go the other way. Tipped by Sukachov. Saved by Ruiz. Shot on net. Again, Jack will eat it in his chest. Puck played back behind the net. Off to Bo Baker. He'll feed it up to Jacob Noonan. Jacob Noonan will carry it on the far side. Played down behind the net. We're on the far boards. Center to Benny Meyer. Meyer will kick it to the corner. Oaks will control there. Look for their long pass. Hit it up the middle. They'll go 3-on-2. Works it wide. Shot on net. Saved by Leverton. Joseph Russell set for the faceoff to the right of Jack Leverton. The referee tells the defenseman on the backside to take a half step back. Faceoff is down. Controlled by the Oaks. They'll get it back to their D. Shot on net. Saved by Leverton. Puck loose. Battle in the slot. Carter Kirkenbush will carry it out. Out to center ice. He'll force it wide. Center to Joseph Ross. Knocked loose there. And the Oaks will come back with some speed. Besham makes the stop. Holds them up there. Puck lost. The Oaks will carry it into the zone. Takes it wide of the Besham. Walk to the middle. Shot goal. Snuck it through Leverton's 5-hole. Face-off down and back into the Oak zone. A couple out-of-town fans have started to chant. That seems appropriate for a 1-0 game. High school game at that. Back to the Oaks defense. Shot on net, saved by Leverton. Face off won by the Saints. They'll carry it out. Cody Sweeney gets rubbed off on the boards. Work through center ice. Sweeney carries it through center ice, runs into a pile of Oakleafs. Tries to force it deep. Back in the Oakleafs defensive zone. The Oaks will hit their stretch pass. Carry it wide. Power turn. Go behind the net. Oaks have it for a second, and then O'Donnell plays it up. Back to the Oaks D. They'll fire it in deep. Battle for it on the near boards. So the big player hit the ejection seat there. We're not sure if that was a hand pass or what we're calling. Face up down, the Oaks control. They'll work it on the near side boards. There must be something on the ice there. Jacob Noonan just hit the ejection seat also. Back, the Oaks will play it D to D. Up the far side, chipped into the center. Clemenson took a little stick to the neck there, unnoticed. Walked into the zone. Cody Cruiser will try and walk it. He'll play it up to Bo Baker. Bo's got him one-on-one. He'll go wide, try and get a shot on net, and fires wide of the net. Back to Cruiser. Cruiser will shoot an Oaks player in the face. No love lost there. In front of the net, battled. Noonan tries to wrap it in. He'll clear it back to Beshin, who can't get a handle on it. Jack Leverton grabs the puck, and he'll charge down the... No, he won't. He'll leave it behind the net for Cruiser. Cruiser makes a long pass to Baker. Back to Cruiser. Cruiser up to Sieverding. Oaks control, and they'll chip it in. Behind the net. Oaks will win the race and run over Cruiser like a steamroller. Played up to the near boards. Joseph Ross runs into a stern check by an Oaks player. Oaks will control at center ice. Oh. Carter Kirkenbush just made his presence felt with authority. Played up into, shot into the net by Joseph Ross. Shots are 8-3 in favor of the Oaks. Sammy Ruiz will step in for the faceoff. A little early. Oaks win it back to the corner. They'll play it high off the boards. 2-on-1 breakaway with Blake Seegers. Bad pass, and Seegers managed to collect it, and they'll try and clear. White plays it back to Seegers. Seegers gets it behind the net. Forecheck there by the Oaks. They'll walk it around the top of the circle. It's stolen. Sammy Ruiz carries it up the far side. He'll center it to White. White can't get a handle on it. And we've got enough sides. Ruiz will step in for the faceoff for the Saints again. Controlled momentarily, and then the Oaks push it deep. Behind the net. Sweeney will go back. Wrong Cody. Up to Ruiz. Ruiz will try and hit Sweeney. It's stolen there by the Oaks. They'll control, carry it into the zone. Continue to fight. A little drop pass doesn't go the way that we want it to. Clemenson controls it back there. He'll cross ice pass it. Shot saved. Leverton left a little too much rebound there, and the Oaks buried it home. Joseph Ross will come take the face-off at center ice. And knocks the Oaks player. Get a 2-on-1. Sieverding out to Kirkenbush. Kirkenbush couldn't get the handle. Oaks are coming full tilt. Shot on net. Partially saved. Jack's looking for the hole in his stick. Sometimes those just eat you up, Jack. So, in the matter of 30 seconds, a one-goal game becomes a three-goal game. And I think Jack Leverton's going to take himself out of the game. He's holding himself a little too accountable about Jack. That wasn't your fault. But we get to see Colton Stoll. Stoll, a freshman. I'm sure he'll be happy to walk into this 3-0 game, being outshot 3-1, almost 4-1. Good luck, Colton. Ross will take the faceoff. Ross will lose the faceoff. Kirkenbush plays it deep behind the net. Oaks goalie tries to stop it, doesn't get a handle on it, but slows it down enough. It's played down. Stoll gets his first chance to play it. Doesn't want any part of it. Kirkenbush battles on the far boards. He's joined by Beshin and Sieverding. Oaks control it behind the net. Cruiser gets a piece of it. Stolen by the Oaks on the near side. Cruiser still battling. He'll kick it to the Oaks D. Oaks control. Walks around Cruiser. Centers. A little dipsy-do around the Bryce Beshin. Work down low. Saved by Stoll. Picks up a second one. Stoll has a perfect 100% save percentage on. We're only giving him one shot. Come on, Sukachev. There was two there. Noonan for the faceoff. One to Benny Meyer. Meyer battles through, takes a monster check at the blue line. Bo Baker comes back and says, "Don't hit my friend." Played on the far boards. Oaks have it. They'll walk in, top of the circle, shot, wide of the net. Stoll intimidated him. Meyer says, "Can't hit me this time." Walks to near boards. Stoll gets a piece of the puck, plays it behind the net. Up to the near boards. Oaks have it. They'll chip it back to their D. Redirected just wide of the net. That's not a shot or a save. Jacob Noonan tries to dance around. Oh, I'm not sure what Mr. Blond is calling here. He's going to call a trip. We'll take it. 2 minutes and 32 seconds left in the first period. Saints trailing 3-0, but they'll be going on the first power play of the game. Power play will feature Carter Kirkenbush, Cody Sweeney, Bo Baker, Jacob Noonan, and Tyler White. As I look at this configuration, there isn't a defenseman on the ice. Hopefully this doesn't bite us. That's Noonan. Back to Baker. Back to White. White plays it over to Kirkenbush. Kirkenbush walks to the top of the circle, fires into the Oaks defender's shin guards. Collected by White at the blue line. He'll look for Baker, but fires it on net just wide. Stuck underneath the goaltender. Stack the pads. Haven't seen that since the 80s. Doesn't matter. Squirts wide. Quite a battle going on in front of the net there with Noonan and the Oaks player. Clemens, I'm being told by my broadcast partner. That's Clemenson, my broadcast partner. Stoll plays it behind the net. He'll leave it for White. White will run into Sweeney. Not be happy about it. Kirkenbush comes down the side with speed. He'll look to set someone up in front. He's got Sweeney. Shot, saved. Rebound, saved. Sweeney behind the net. Sweeney will play it up to Bo. Bo over to Tyler. White walks down the middle. Shot wide. I'm sure he was trying to do that to get the read on to Ross. White will collect and quickly attack as the Oaks try and sneak a defender off. White down. Fires wide of the net. Sweeney will try and hold it in. It can't. And that'll be a problem. Oaks come down. Nice defensive play by Carter Kirkenbush. And then introduces the player into the boards, who is now stickless. Benny Meyer up to Sammy Ruiz. Ruiz leaves it for the Oak player who has no stick. Schilling will carry it back into the zone. Turns in front of the goal, loses the handle of it. That's why we don't turn in front of the goal. Meyer carries it down, leaves it for Ruiz. Ruiz goes down, and that'll do it for our power play. Oaks hit the player immediately out of the penalty box. Saints can't control. A little chaos going on here. Oaks walk around, shot, saved by Stoll. Another save on the rebound. Stoll is looking very good in his cold entry into the game. 18 seconds left in the first period. Saints will try and weather the storm here. Face off to the left of Stoll. They'll send Ross, Kirkenbush, and Silverding out at the forces line. Out to the D. Shot fired in, just wide. Sukichov will muck it there. He's checked from behind into the boards. Referee Blondin was standing right there, but didn't see what I saw. And that'll do it for the first period. Saints will start the second period with Noonan winning the draw. Back to Baker. Baker will get knocked into the boards. Puck played down below the goal line. Oaks will go D to D. Benny Meyer down there giving pressure. Oaks will clear it out. Look for that far side pass. Don't quite hit it. Sagers is there. Play it up. Loose in front of the net. Knocked to the corner. Baker high off the boards. Cleared the zone. A little delayed offsides. The Oaks will reset. Schilling will play it back around the boards. Out to the D. Shot in front of the net. Saved by Stoll. Cleared out to the neutral zone. Back behind the net. Oaks are setting up like it's a power play. And that's an offsides. Or that's an icing. I'm sorry. Oaks clear the zone. Lost in front. Meserich with the shot. Kirkenbush with the rebound over the top of the net. O'Donnell holds it in at the blue line. He'll dump it down deep. Kirkenbush will give chase behind the net. Played to the far boards by Sukuchov. Front of the net. Meserich will walk and wrap it around. Gets it out to O'Donnell at the point. O'Donnell dumps it in. Tipped by Meserich, but held on by the Oaks goalie. Zimmerman is the Oaks goalie. We'll try and refer to him as Zimmerman. I'll probably forget that. .5:24 left in the second period. Ruiz will take the faceoff for Dubuque, loses it back. Oaks control it. They'll play it off the boards. Up to Schilling. Lost control there. Sweeney's got it on the blue line. He loses the handle. Tried to play it up. Tried to play it up again. Oaks. Oh, Braden Schilling with a nice play. Holds it in. Gets muscled off the puck. Knocks it loose. Schilling will still keep pressuring in. Long pass. Oaks will leave it there. They're 2-on-2. Shot saved by Stoll. Kick to the corner. Nice rebound control by Stoll there. Oaks work it out in front. Schilling was just giving his man a hug as he smashes it past Stoll. Kirkenbush will take the face-off, wins it back to Sukuchov. Sukuchov over to O'Donnell, back to Sukuchov. These guys need to get shorter names so I can spit them out. Sukuchov down low. Kirkenbush down there. O'Donnell presses the issue. Meserich with the steal. Sieverding. Dear God, everyone has a 17-consonant name. Saved by Zimmerman. Face off back behind the net or behind the goal line. Oaks will try and play it out. Again, down below the goal line. Oaks will control there. Meserich forces it over to Kirkenbush. Kirkenbush controls. Momentarily, the Oaks break it out. Got a minor breakaway here. Chip just wide by Sukuchov back on defense. The Oaks play it out to the blue line. Shot saved by Stoll. Sukuchov down. Meserich will press. Turn back to neutral ice. Suk plays it up to Kirkenbush. Back to the Oaks D. They'll play it wide. That's not a player. That's a ref. Centered. Wide open. Saved by Stoll. Big rebound kicked out, though. No control there. Oaks force it below the goal line. They'll work it on the far boards. Behind the net. Chipped up. We're on the near boards now. Oaks control. Back to the D. D winds up with a blast. Saved by Stoll. Rebound cleared by Schilling. Centered. Nobody home. Oaks back to the D. Shot. Tipped wide. Battled in the corner by O'Donnell. Held in by the Oaks D. Played behind the net. Down below the goal line. They'll play it behind the net again. Try and feed it out front. Stoll gets just a piece of it on that centering attempt. Saved by Stoll. Rebound goes wide. Benny Meyer will lead the attack the other way. My broadcast partner is telling me is netminding Maine is going to get a tripping penalty. Someone needs to tell Stoll he'll already get his name on the spreadsheet for saves. He did need one for a penalty. That's second penalty by a Dubuque goaltender this weekend. The Dubuque coaches are absolutely stupefied as to what's going on here. This is an argument that they're set to lose. Send someone from the ice in the bench or in the box and let's get on with it, boys. Tyler White's going to go down and ask Dave Blondin exactly what's going on. Blondin's going to say, shut up and take the face off. I've made my decision. It is indisputable. Benny Meyer, the pride of Bellevue, in the box for Colton Stoll. Face off one, back behind the blue line. White will fire it out and clear it. Zimmerman struggles with it behind the net. Noonan will give chase. Nice whack on the shin guards. Another whack on the shin guards. Oaks carried in deep. Working around the back of the net. Out to the blue line. Noonan's at him like a man possessed. Worked around to the far side. Held there. Sent across the front again. Untouched. Clemenson will control at the blue line. He'll send it to the far wall. Back to the D. Over to Clemenson again. Clemenson will work there, top of the slots. Fires to the backside. Sent across the front of the net. Untouched. Oaks will set up behind the net. Off to the side. Back out to Clemenson. Clemenson walks down the middle. Fires to the dot. Cross ice. Nice save by Stoll. Back up to the point. Down low to the slot. I'm sorry. Centered. Just wide. Saints with a wonderful clear. They didn't touch. Oaks will go D to D. Carry it in wide. Force to the center. Cross. Wide open net that he can't hit. Come on, guys. Scored 4 goals. You're better than that. Down the ice. Breakout pass. They'll go 3-on-2. Carry it in. Left. Walk to the middle. Knocked down. Big save by Stoll. Popped up. Rondon runs like a little girl to get out of the way. Back to the point. Cross ice. Top of the faceoff circle. Save by Stoll. Rebound. Goal. Goal, goal, goal. So with 4 seconds left in that Stoll penalty, the Oaks get their power play goal. Worked it around to the open man on the backside. There really wasn't much to be done there. Stoll made a couple key saves. Not enough. Joseph Ross come in for the faceoff. One back to Suk. Suk over to O'Donnell. O'Donnell back to Suk. Carries it up to the red line, dumps it in. Zimmerman back behind the net. Much better play. Battled down below the goal line to Ross. Ross tries to kick it to Kirkenbush. Can't quite get it there. O'Donnell will walk in. Walk through the slot. Walk to the far side. Back to Sukachov. Sukachov places it behind the net. Ross tries to hit the brakes and curl it in front. Unsuccessfully. Oaks knock it down, try and get it across the ice. It's knocked down, knocked back into the defensive zone. Ross applying the pressure there for a second. Oaks managed to walk away from it. Oaks now chip it into the zone. Want a trip call? That wasn't a trip. That was a rough, if anything. Battled for at center ice. Seaberding blasts Sukachov in the back. Shot on net, saved by Zimmerman. He'll scoop it up. Hand it to linesman Thorman. Noonan will step in for the faceoff for the Saints, which is lost. Back behind the Oaks net. D to D, up the far boards. We're going the other way. This is looking like an ice. That's what they call it. So we'll try it again. This time to the left of Zimmerman. Face off one back by the Oaks behind the net. They'll play it up to the near boards. Big breakout pass that goes untouched. King saying he wants the face off to the right of Zimmerman. And everything at the net. That is contingent on them winning the face-off, which they didn't. Around the back of the net, the Oaks control. They'll hit the long pass to center ice. White will control there. Plays it back in. Oaks will throw it down. That's a delayed icing call. Ruiz, Sweeney, and Ross. What exactly is going on here? We've got 4 forwards on the ice. We've got a mock power play going on. Or perhaps Sammy Ruiz is playing defense now. Long stretch pass up the middle. It's held in just on the blue line there. Work down deep. Sukachov will control below the goal line. Oaks steal it. Pass it back to their D. Fired on net. Saved by Stoll. Kicked wide. Ross will force it up to the far side boards. Oaks will steal. Play D to D. Dump it in. Played by Stoll. Stoll kicks it off to Ruiz. Up to Ross. Sweeney will control it. Carry it through the neutral zone. Nico Ruiz will come down the middle. Sweeney will try and play it in front. Hits the side of the net. Oaks control behind the net. Nice little stop and go move there. Chipped off. Oaks can't seem to go on the breakaway in the blue line after mishandling it there. They'll go D to D. Hit the far side to a wide open man. Carries it in. Shot saved by Stoll. Shots are looking a little more tilted now. The Oaks got 26. Saints with just 10. They're going to kick Carter Kirkenbush out. No, maybe not. Kirkenbush loses the faceoff, but Meserich steals it. He'll attack the Oaks D. Loses it at the blue line. Sagers has got it there. He'll hit Meserich in the middle. Meserich will try and force it deep. Throws a monster check to knock the player at the puck. Another Oaks simply collects it. We've got a breakaway here. Oaks come down. Nice little dangle move. Save by Stoll. Nice save by Stoll there on that breakaway. Saints will send it down the ice for an icing. Zimmerman will play it there. Not nearly with the finesse of the JV goalie Sheehy. Oaks went it back to the blue line, shot on net. Stoll's there with the save and makes the cover. Sukuchov and O'Donnell swap out Seegers and White at D. Noonan with the win back to the corner, play it around the boards. Baker will let it go. The Oaks will collect in their own defensive zone. Go D to D. Stolen there by Benny Meyer. Momentarily. Played back behind the goal line. Up the sideboards. O'Donnell's in a foot race, which he wins. Plays it up to Noonan. Noonan back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell behind the net. He'll play it over to Sukuchov. Sukuchov battles for it there. Center to Baker. Baker will carry it out to the central ice. Carries it wide, dumps it off the boards, and he'll win the race to get it. Tries to send it to Benny Meyer. Not there. O'Donnell steps up. Walks to the corner. Takes a bump. Played back behind the net for the Oaks. They'll play it off the far boards. Held there by Noonan, who'll fire it back to Baker. Baker over to O'Donnell. O'Donnell up to Ruiz. Gets the handle on it. Takes it towards the net. Passes just wide. Noonan can get there. He'll kick it back to White. White will fire on net. That's Zimmerman with the save. So it looks like Tyler White's returned to his natural defenseman position. Oaks will win it back. They'll try and hit their stretch pass. They'll go 2-on-1 down. They've got White back there. Carries it wide, throws it in front of the net. Nice save by Stoll. Another save. Couple nice saves there. Fired back in. Big glove save by Stoll. Stoll flashes the leather. Gonna need another defenseman there, Dubuque. That wasn't a defenseman they sent out. Sammy Ruiz is going to be playing defense. So a couple new line changes. We got Sammy Ruiz now playing defense. Up to Nico Ruiz. He'll shoot on net just wide. Oaks play it behind the net. Wide open player on the far side. He'll get control. Wide open man on the slot. Controlled there by Schilling. The Oaks will play it back to their D. Fired off the post, which no one saw because you didn't move the camera. Sweeney carries it up. He leaves it for no one. Back to Schilling. Schilling a wheel. Look for a man on the far side. That guy's wearing the wrong jersey. Let's play it up the middle. Oaks put themselves off sides. Then recover and put it back in again. Kirkenbush now. He'll play it across. Up to the far side. Knocked out. Back in. So we'll try to get a piece of it. Just mishandles it just a little bit. Sukuchov back to O'Donnell. Oak steal. Meserich regains. Loses it for just a second. Forced down low. Kirkenbush will carry it into the zone. Walks through the middle. Fires a shot over the net. Move the camera, silly. Kirkenbush took an unnecessary shot at the head there. This is going to come back to bite him. Oaks walk all the way down the middle. Fire a shot on net. Stoll with the save. Ezrich with the touch up. Blondin says it's going to just be a rough, not a head contact. Kirkenbush looks at the bench like, I didn't do it. Blondin says, yes, you did. Noonan for the face-off. One back by the Oaks. They'll go D to D on this power play. Hit the man on the far side. Around the back of the net. Out to the top of the circle. Over to D to D. Down low again. Back to the D. Walks to the center. Shot. Scored. Pretty sure that went in untouched. And good news. The power play is over. So 3 minutes and 34 seconds left in the second period. The Oaks now have a commanding 6-0 lead. And the shots on goal, well, they're not pretty. It's 3-1 in favor of the Oaks. Oaks win it back. They'll play it up the middle. Held in there by linesman Luke Thorman. Thanks, Luke. Chipped out. Oh, Bo Baker just took a very bad checking from behind. Oh, we're just going to call it cross-checking, though. Clock is still running because there's a 6-goal differential. London's telling Baker, I could have called you from checking from behind. And Baker says, yeah, I know. Thanks. The refs are discussing as to where the faceoff location should be. Since the penalty was on Dubuque. Oh, it must have been an icing, though, so it comes back one spot. So the Oaks will go back on the power play. Go D to D, carried in on the far side. White with a steal, and he'll clear it. Big save by Zimmerman. He sets it up. Oaks play at the length of the ice on the far side. Sweeney with the steal momentarily. Played up across the blue line by the Oaks. Cross ice pass. Clemenson controls there. Walks O'Donnell. Centers. Goal! And that's the end of that power play. We are doing an amazing job at ending their power plays early. Yeah, the good news is they've somehow scored another goal without allowing a shot on net. Oh, there it goes. Face-off won by Dubuque. Back to Schilling. Schilling goes behind the net. He'll play it over to Suk. Suk loses the handle temporarily. Fires it up to Meyer. Myers controls it. Plays it outside the blue line. He'll force it up the far side. Held just outside the blue line. We've got another penalty coming. Jacob Noonan for a rough. Jacob Noonan gave the typical me. Yes, you, Jacob. I think that could have been on one or two different players. Jacob Noonan just has the misfortune of being the team manager's son. Unless everyone knows his name. And that's what's Blondin's telling the coach now. I could have called that on three different players. And he's saying, I appreciate it. Thanks, Dave. No problem, Scott. Running clock. Run the clock. Des Moines wins it. Back to the D. D walks down to the slot. Shot over the net. Near side board. Back to the D. Shot tipped in front. It's really just a shooting gallery right now for the Oaks. They control behind the net. Walks away from Suk. Far wall. Up to the top of the slot. Centered. Missed the net. Puck stuck on the back of the net. Work there. Oaks, we're going to try the Michigan. Thank God they didn't have time to pull that off. Clemenson works it on the near side, loses the puck. And that's Kirkenbush chasing the other way. Back up to Clemenson. Clemenson will carry it into the zone, walk to the slot. Loses it there temporarily, played back out to the red line. Oaks recover. He'll play it into the blue. Right across the slot to the middle. Big save by Stoll. 17 seconds left in the period on the running clock. That should do it on this period, if they play it smart. No one wants to see any damage here, so we'll just let the clock die. So after 2 periods, the Oaks are winning. Saints will start the third period on the penalty kill. Noonan's still in the box. Oaks will carry it into the zone. Fed cross ice there. Fired on net. Saved by Stoll. Recovered. Saved again by Stoll. Fitted out in front. White with a nice defensive play there. Noonan comes out of the box and he'll try and kick it up to Baker. Benny Meyer comes in, fires it. Saved by Zimmerman, who gives it up to Jacob Noonan, fresh out of the box. Makes him pay. Goodbye, Goose Eggs. Six-goal lead, so we're still playing a running clock here. But the Saints are mounting a comeback. Carter Kirkenbush will step in. He'll play center. Tyler White. Benny Meyer with a vicious elbow that goes on. Or no, that was Callum Meserich. Regardless, still uncalled elbow. Meserich leaves for Ruiz. Kicked off the boards. Up to Sieverding. Sieverding gets it on net. Zimmerman with the save. Kirkenbush will win the faceoff. Back to Meserich, who gives a weak pass. Back to Ruiz. Oaks will send it deep into the corner. Around the back of the net. White will collect it there. Meserich takes another hard hit. I think they're still a little bitter about some comments made at the JV game. Sieverding back to White. White fans on it, but gets a second shot up to Meserich. Meserich fires it up to Ruiz. Oaks control there. Behind the net. Oaks will walk it up the ice. Carry it wide, fired across the front of the net. No one touches it. Sammy Ruiz will send it to the length of the ice for an icing. Oaks win the faceoff. They'll work it down below the goal line. Stolen there. Sweeney will fire it up to Nico. Nico back. Stolen there. The Oaks will control on center ice. Quick turn. Fed to the middle. Shot save. Saved by Stoll. Give it up in front of the net. Loose puck. Stoll manages to jump on top of it and eat it. Schelling and Staggers will come out for the defensive pair. Noonan will center Benny Meyer, Bo Baker. Schelling around the back of the net to Baker. Baker tries to center it. The Oaks will collect it and dump it down in. Schelling will pull it out of the corner, try and force it up the near boards. Oaks force it deep. Collision there between Noonan and an Oaks player. Oaks recover, walk around the far side. Out to the defense. Shot blocked in front by Noonan. He'll play it up to Baker. Baker knocked down. There's going to be a penalty for that. 21 white. 20. That's not white, Dave. That's 21 blue. To Clemenson. Dubuque on the power play. Let's see if we can end our power play as quickly as we end theirs. Noonan will center Sweeney and Kirkenbush. Face-off lost, but given to Sweeney right in front of the net. Strange defensive strategy. Oaks take it behind the net. They'll play it up the middle. Past White. Stoll takes the puck for a second, hands it off to White. White wheels behind the net. He'll carry it right up the middle, loses it at the blue line. Oaks will dump it in. Stoll will make the save, and we'll have a face-off to the left of Stoll. Oaks win the face-off back to the D. Shot on net, saved by Stoll. White controls. Weak pass up the middle. Saints will play it in. Bo Baker around the back of the net to Carter Kirkenbush. He'll collect in the corner. Feeds it out to the point to White. White back to Kirkenbush. Kirkenbush to White. White on net. Saved by Zimmerman. Oaks will clear. Stoll's going to have to make a play on this as the Oaks are breathing down his neck. He'll play it off to White. White knocked off the puck. Oaks get a shot on net. Controlled by the Oaks. Oh, White with a huge hit. Not sure there was an attempt to play the puck there, but apparently clean anyway. We'll get Schilling and Staggers back on defense with Joseph Ross, Nico Ruiz, and Jackson Heacock out on the forward line. Dubuque wins the faceoff, plays it around the back of the net. Oaks steal there. The penalty is over. Oaks walk in, fire, shot on net, saved by Stoll. Played back out in front of the net. Battled there. Ruiz. Oaks behind the net. Schilling's got it there. He'll fight off a check. Oaks managed to hold it in. Schilling's got it. He'll walk the blue line, play it up to the middle. Oaks will play it in. That was clearly offsides. That's coming back to the... Nope, we're going to go all the way back to the dot outside the blue line. Carter Kirkenbush with the face-off. Lost. Stolen there, though. In case you missed that, that was Sieverding with the shot on net, saved. Zimmerman hands the puck over to the refs. Oaks win the face-off and clear it. Probably a little pressure to Sammy Ruiz, who go behind the net. Shot on net, saved by Stoll. Face-off won by the Saints. Mazurich will carry it out to center ice. Lost there. Chipped back in by the D. Sukuchov will fire it deep. Behind the net. Oaks will collect. Cross-ice pass. Stolen there. Worked out to center ice. Daniel will force it deep. Stoll will go back behind the net and play it. Fires it up to Sukuchov, who will play it the length of the ice for an icing. 7 minutes left here in the third period. Oaks still holding a commanding 7-1 lead. Noonan wins the faceoff back to White, who'll play it around the back to Baker. Oaks steal in the slot. They'll pass. Fired in front of the net. Stoll with the save. Surrounded by 5 of his teammates to make sure no extracurricular activities happen. So we'll do it again to the left to Stoll. Send Bo Baker in to take the faceoff here. Cam O'Donnell possess. Played around to Benny Meyer. Up to Bo Baker. Baker across the blue line. Saved by Zimmerman. Face-off won by Noonan. Back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell dumps it down deep. Stolen there by the Oaks. Benny Meyer, man possessed there, trying to draw a penalty. Oaks work it down deep. Got a delayed call coming against Dubuque. Goes D to D. Shot on net. Cleared by Bo Baker. We got a Jacob Noonan rough. Heard that one before. So the Oaks will go on the power play. And we've already killed 15 seconds of it off. Walk in, fed to the middle, score! Someone get their first goal or a hat trick, or this is the first time they've gotten 8 goals. Who knows? But good news, we killed that penalty off in record time. Face off one back to the Oaks D. They'll dump it in. Played behind the net. Up the sideboards to Sweeney. Sweeney will clear the zone. Oaks will dump it back in again. The Oaks seem perfectly happy to just dump and not even really chase. They're just dumping. They'll work it along the goal line. Walk it out in front of the net. Big save by Stoll. Oaks will fire it in from the D. Big save by Stoll. 4 minutes left in the third period. The Oaks clinging to an 8-1 lead. Shots just slightly in favor of the Oaks. That's 44-16. The Saints will send Sukuchov and Schilling out on defense. Schilling plays the puck behind the net. Mezerich will grab it there. Carries it down the near side boards. Up to Kirkenbush, who gets a piece of it. Chases behind the net. Centers in front. Nobody's home. Sukuchov fires. Goal! Goal! And the place goes wild as the deficit is cut back to 6. Nice goal by Nico there. Kirkenbush will step in for the draw, wins it back to Ruiz. Ruiz will think about it, collect it, send it over to White. White will play it on the near boards. Cross ice pass to the Oaks. They're not on our team. Shot in. Stoll will play it wide. White up to Meserich. Meserich to Sieverding. Sieverding carries it right down Main Street. Center to nobody. Oaks will steal it. There may have been a trip there. I think he can. Oh, no, we're not calling that one. We're calling the trip on the Oaks. Number 16, who's giving the who me? Yes. Yes, you. That'll bring the faceoff down to this zone. Apparently the Mets are sending in their closer. So the Saints will send Meserich, Noonan, Sweeney, White, and Baker out on the power play. White controls it at the blue line. He'll dump it in to Sweeney. Shot on net. Blocked, doesn't get through. Oaks will control and clear. White will regroup at the center ice. Fires it into Baker. Baker will try and get it deep. It's cleared. The Oaks will apply a little pressure here. Meserich gets it up to Noonan. Noonan tries to walk the boards. Worked out. White collects it, fires it over to Baker. Baker shot on net, saved by Zimmerman. Noonan gets a little pushy with Zimmerman there. A little pushy with Clemenson there. Like Noonan hasn't gotten 2 roughing penalties this game. Baker sends it in deep behind the net. Oaks clear it down to White, who will retreat back to his own defensive zone. Plays it up to no one. Tell me if you've heard this one before. Noonan, 2 minutes, roughing. So we'll play 4-on-4 for the last 40 seconds. Kirkenbush will take the face-off. They'll win it back to Schilling. Schilling around the back of the net. Up to White. White will look to carry it. Off to Myers. Myers loses the handle of it in front of the Oaks bench. They're happy for that. 20 seconds left. The Oaks are on a short power play. Kirkenbush walks down the boards. Off to Schilling. Schilling blasted into the Oaks defenders' shin guards. Cleared the zone. Dumped down in. 6 seconds left. Play it up the boards, and that's the ball game. Jack Leverton first out to give Colton a big hug and tell him good job. I know what you have to face, dude. The rest of the team circles Stoll. Tells him nice game.